mama said, what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what? Greetings. Welcome everyone to Your Mama Said What. How's everybody doing today? I'm here with my co-host, V and Jalen. And today I want to delve into the subject of why do we have so many pairs of shoes between us? Why do we own so many pairs of shoes? Well, I did a shoe count and I own over 50 pairs of shoes. and I only wear maybe 2 or 3 pairs. And I also own about 20 pairs of boots. And I'm in my boots more than I'm in shoes. I'm like, why do I have all these shoes? Because I'm trying to become a minimalist to see what's really important in life. So I was wondering, why do I have so many pairs of shoes? And I did some research and I found some people have 3,000 pairs of shoes. Is it because, like the Melda Marco, right?
But is it an average?
She's known for having 3,000 pairs of shoes. And I'm like, well, that's excessive. And I thought I was being excessive with my little 50 pairs of shoes. So what is it about shoes? I know they're pretty, but what is the purpose of shoes? Aren't shoes supposed to protect our feet? Why do we need so many shoes? Does more shoes mean I'm beautiful when I wear them and look at them and admire them? Why do we need so many pairs of shoes? Would you like to chime in, Jalen?
Yeah, you would come to me first. See, we speak too much, okay? We speak too much. Well, initially, I would like to say that people purchase shoes to match their outfits. Correct. So you have multiple outfits, and then you put them together, and your shoe has to match the color of your outfits. So I think that we're matching our outfits. I won't tell you my psyche and why I have so many pairs of shoes. I didn't count my shoes on purpose. I refuse to count how many pairs of shoes I have. But I will say that if I see a shoe that I like and it's in multiple colors, I usually have it in multiple colors. So I'll just say that.
And I guess you said, so what is an average for women in shoes? Because I first of all, I know I haven't counted, but I'm not big on shoes. So of course I get when an event, of course, I'm going to buy a pair of shoes to go with the dress. So like, Sister Jalen stated, but I'm not big on shoes. I prefer to, if possible, to go barefoot.
You need to be living on an island.
So I don't know. I can't. I actually, shoes kind of, to me, it seems like a grip on your feet, and it's not that my shoes be tight, but it's just like, your toes don't get that breathable, feeling. So I'm not big on shoes. So this one, y'all, I don't got much to say about this.
So how many pairs of shoes do you own, Sister V? How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm sure it's less than 50. But again, I don't wear them all either. I had a friend that, a coworker that I used to wear these same shoes because they were so comfortable. They felt like I was just walking on the ground. So I used to wear them so much. And then she asked me one day, she said, what happened to your shoes? I said, girl, they wore out. So she went and found the exact same shoes, purchased it for me, and brought it to me because I love these shoes. They were just so nice and comfortable. So that was something that, listen, if I find something that I like, I'm wearing it to the ground. You know, that's nice and comfortable. I'm wearing it to forever. So, yes. So I'm not really, again, but if it's an event, yeah, I'll probably buy something different just for that. But sometimes then it'll sit in my closet. It'll sit in my, and then probably not wear it again. And like a lot of the things that I wore when I was maybe 10 years ago, I don't wear those anymore. So they're just sitting in my closet. Yeah. So
sounds like we
so
need
the
to
styles are changing. So you're saying that the styles are changing, or the shoes are so accessible. I'm talking to myself, okay, not just my audience. I'm like, well, I can only wear one pair of shoes at a time, or one pair of boots at a time. And I have shoes I've never worn. They're in the box. They're in the package. And they're not cheap shoes. Because I try not to buy shoes, you know. Not that I buy red bottom shoes. I like practical shoes that don't hurt my feet. However, I started selling some of my shoes. That's how I ended up with now I'm like down to like 50 pair because I did count them. I started selling my shoes and I mean, the people would look at them, you know, the sisters would look at my shoes and be like, these are brand new. And I'd be like, yeah, they're brand new. And I would give them a reasonable price and they buy them. I actually had a shoe set. So I'm down to like 50 pairs of shoes. But some of the shoes I have never worn. And some of the shoes I knew when I brought them, they did not fit. And they were not comfortable, but they were pretty.
So you bought shoes that didn't fit? Really?
Okay, see now that's the waste. That's the waste.
That's funny.
Did you at least sell it for the same amount you paid for it?
No.
What was you hoping that your feet shrink or grow bigger?
You know some of the shoes I'm talking about. You know some of the shoes, some of the brand. She knows because she's seen the shoes. Sister V, you haven't seen the shoes, but she knows. Okay, this is an actual fact. They were just so pretty.
What was your reason for buying it if you knew it wasn't gonna fit?
They were pretty.
Did you think you was gonna grow into them?
They were pretty.
Did you have somebody else in mind that you was gonna give it
to? I have worn boots that did not fit, but they were just so pretty. They were leather. They were thigh high. Oh my God, they were gorgeous. They were from Italy. They were expensive. They were like gloves, but they used to hurt my feet every time I wore them.
So the question is, was it really worth it?
To me, they were really pretty.
But because of pain.
Jalen. Why you calling on me again?
Because she know I know something about her shoes. Tell it.
Tell that story. Why don't you?
Gosh, this is why I can't talk to you all. Okay, so they are forcing me to tell a story I shared with them, and I said a little bit of it earlier that there's certain types of shoes that I wear. I only wear leather for the most part, leather, suede, and so if I find a quality pair of leather shoes at a reasonable price in multiple colors, I'm going to purchase them in the multiple colors. And if it's a sale, the word sale and we need to break up. If it's a sale in the shoe that I like and I know it fits comfortable on my feet, that's nothing. I don't wear hurting shoes. I'm not doing that. And so if they're comfortable on my feet and it becomes a sale on the shoe, I will purchase the exact same shoe in the exact same color because I don't know what the future holds, and I may not be able to get that shoe because again, it's comfortable. But let me just go back. When you were saying that you only wear like a couple of pair of shoes on a regular basis, I wear 2 pairs of shoes that I wear. I have 2 pairs of shoes that I wear all the time. Like on a daily basis. I don't go and switch shoes and I don't do that. So no, I'm trying to sell my shoes. So I need to know who bought your shoes because I'm trying to sell some of mine. So I need a shoe sale as well.
But right. you leaving something else out though. There, you leaving something.
What
out.
am I leaving out? Well, you want to tell the story? What am I leaving out? Huh. Remind me. Just give me a hint.
The same color, multiple same color.
The exact same shoe. Huh? The exact same shoe. Color.
No, you said of different colors, but you also buy multiple of the same color. You forgot that part?
Tell it. Tell it.
I thought I said it.
You did not.
No, okay, so you omitted that.
I do have. And I did say you will not listen. No, I do have shoes that are exactly the same color, same size, everything. And again, I'm up for selling them because I'm not wearing. I haven't worn the others, especially since 2020 when we was all confined. Confined that I wasn't going out as much, and I think I had did that act of purchasing all these double shoes right before this, and right before March of 2020. So then I put all of them in a bag. Like I'm not going anyplace, so I put them in the bag. But yeah, I do have multiple shoes of the exact same color. All right, same size. Did I get everything out? Is everything all my secret is out now? But I want to just let's go into the psyche of why we have so many pairs of shoes. And it could be, and I'm disclosing something personal about myself, it could be, and I'm not saying that it is, it could be that growing up without having, I guess, a lot of shoes, and sometimes shoes would run over, sometimes shoes would have holes in them, that now that I am an adult and I can purchase multiples or just purchase more than I need, then maybe that's what's happening. I'm not saying that is, I'm saying that maybe that's why I purchased so many pairs of shoes. Mm-hmm. So I tell you.
Okay. What I found out about shoes were that because of the industrial age that we live in, and shoes are, you're able, the factories are able to produce lots and lots of shoes. That could be the reason why so many pairs of shoes are available, because slaves didn't wear shoes, or they wore very hand-me-down shoes. So now, like you said, now that we're able to buy what we want, now we can fulfill our desires. However, I think with women, it's because it's so pretty. Okay, every time we see a pair of shoes, those, we just have to have those. You can't let us loose in a good shoe store. And this online stuff, now I stopped buying shoes online. I'm like, no, because they never come like, the picture. Yes. So I need to see the shoes. I need to feel the shoes, and I'm just giving them, and try them on, right? And the quality. This online shopping just, oh no, I can't do that. So don't let me loose in the shoe store, please. I need me straight. I'll actually call somebody and say, no, talk to me. Tell me to leave. I don't need these shoes. I don't need these shoes.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's really pathetic. It's really pathetic. So it just got me wondering, is everybody like me? Are we just impulsive?
Or maybe it's a form of therapy for you. something that helps you to relax. Maybe that could be it. That's why you always buy shoes
That don't fit.
that don't fit. That is that is,
At least my shoes fit.
oh my goodness. She just want to look at them at home, eh?
I would not say they didn't fit. They were not comfortable. Let's just put it like that. They were not. I got lace shoes, sister. Gorgeous. I wish I could just pull some out, but I probably sold those. All right. Just, I wanted to design shoes at one time in my life. I actually wanted to be a shoe designer. And maybe that has something to do with it. Every time I see a well-constructed pair of shoes, I just have to have those. Because I have some designs in my head. I used to keep a scrapbook of shoes and boots, and someone found it and threw it away. However, it used to just bring me so much pleasure. Sister V.
Yeah, that's probably again that's your way of maybe subconsciously tapping into your shoe design by going and seeing them. It's cool. But what's so funny is that you can actually buy a shoe and they have all kinds of things where you can design your own and make your own. So maybe some of those shoes that you're no longer wearing that maybe you cannot sell, maybe you can make some sort of a design out of them. It might be something that you can do. Hey, add that to your little, something to do. It should be good. But again, like I said, I'm not that big on shoes. I like shoes, when they're cute. Yeah, they're cute. But again, like I said, I'll wear them for the day. If it's an event or something that I'm going to, I'll wear them and then they back in the closet.
And shoes is just the beginning of it, because I like hats. I like accessories. I like jewelry. I'm like, this is really compulsive buying. So I think that we all need to get a grip on how we spend our money. So what made me decide that
them shoes that you don't wear.
Right, because I want to have experiences. I've changed. I'd rather have experiences rather than material things.
So what's the lesson for today? Don't buy shoes that don't fit. Don't buy shoes you don't need.
Exactly. Oh,
I'm not buying nothing else.
Stay out of the shoe stores. For you.
And the hat stores.
Again, that may be your therapy. Maybe that's good for you. Just window shopping, right? Don't purchase, just window shop.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, we have to hear from you all. What do you think? Do you have a shoe obsession? Are you obsessed with anything? Maybe it's hats, because I do have a lot of hats too. Maybe that's going to be the next topic. Only have one head. At least I have 2 feet.
Okay.
Do you have more than 3,000 pairs of shoes? Do you have 300 pairs of shoes? Wow. I would like to hear from you ladies, especially you ladies. Men too. Some men are obsessed with shoes. Okay, my brothers were obsessed with shoes as well. But when I was, let's say, a child, I only had 2 pair of shoes. School shoes, your school shoes, and your sneakers. And I actually thought a brand of sneakers were called peanut butter sneakers, because that's where they came from. They were in the supermarket next to the peanut butter, and those were the sneakers you got. And if you didn't, I used to get teased about my shoes. So, because I had black and white saddle Oxfords for school, and you changed into the peanut butter sneakers when you came home. That was it. 2 pairs of shoes. And we get a pair every Easter. Every Easter we get a new pair of shoes. Sunday shoes, church shoes. And they used to hurt.
Right.
so the hurting feet has been from a child.
I'm traumatized.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I used to get teased about my shoes every day in school. They were black and white. Y'all probably seen them before, right? They were black and white. And I'm serious about the
But if that probably a lot of other people were wearing those same things as
Oh
well
no.
too.
It was a store. It was a store everybody used to just be bragging about. I can't remember the name of that store. Fred Barnes. Right. Fred Barnes.
Okay.
Fred Barnes. If you had Fred Barnes shoes on, you were the ish. We didn't have those. It was too many of us. But the peanut butter sneakers, we called them peanut butter sneakers because they were in the supermarket next to the peanut butter in a big box. That was it.
So do you
looking at me like, I'm serious. I'm so serious.
I mean, I'm sure, things change so much because it was a lot of us in my family as well too, and I had a lot of hand-me-downs too. So I truly understand.
So
once again, they were just because.
Huh?
Just because.
I said I used to wear my sister's shoes, but it wasn't that she was handing them down to me. I would wear them when she wasn't around.
Oh, so you were one of those type of sisters that went in your sister's closet and took her stuff. And you like, what? And what?
I'm sure she's gonna watch this and say, How many years later?
That to me too. My sisters did that to me too when I started working and buying my own stuff. They would be like, "Oh, I'm in your closet. I'm in your closet. Nah. I got your shoes on."
That's funny.
So, like I said, please follow us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, Spotify. Like, follow, subscribe, and friend. Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what? Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?